This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Beech Grove grandparents, a victim of a growing scam. I'm Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny will tell you how the scam works and how you can avoid becoming a victim.
One of the witnesses grabbed him and pulled him back to safety.
A terrifying call from police. A couple's 2-year-old child found wandering in the middle of the street away from his daycare. Who is investigating now? Well, now at 6, an elderly couple from Beech Grove fell victim to a growing scam targeting your parents and grandparents.
Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny spoke with the couple's grandson who helped thwart the scammers. She's working for you to explain how it works and how you can protect your family.
The Weavers have lived in Beech Grove for 50 years, a place they've grown to trust others. But now that sense of trust has shattered because of a growing scam. Shirley and Jerry Weaver live on a fixed income now that Jerry's retired from Ford. They got a phone call Friday saying their grandson had been in a car crash. He had a broken nose and received a DUI. The caller put their grandson on the phone and he sounded different.
And I knew that whenever you have a clamp on your nose, you don't sound like yourself.
To get their grandson Kyle out of trouble, they were told to mail $9,600 in cash. So they went to the bank and got it.
And I thought, well, it'll take us a while to pay it off. I hope we live that long.
The caller told them to put the money in 2 separate envelopes, label them, and send it to an address in New Jersey.
And he said his name was Danny Morgan. And then he told me to send it to this address.
And don't tell nobody.
And don't tell anyone.
But just before they were about to FedEx the money, Kyle called his grandma to ask about dinner plans.
I knew something was going on. I knew something was wrong by the tone in her voice. And she said, hey, I just talked to that guy, and we're about to send the money.
Kyle quickly realized his grandparents were victims of the growing grandparent scam.
So somebody messes with them, it makes you angry, but it also makes you scared.
We called Danny Morgan, or at least that's the name he gave the Weavers.
We're trying to get more information about that.
He told us we called a private number and asked how we got it.
Because you called them.
When we pushed further,
and he hung up.
The Better Business Bureau says the scammers are preying on the elderly's sense of trust and their desire to help their families.
So that scammer will call and they'll sound very knowledgeable, like they know about your family, they know the first names, they know who's related to who. So it's very easy to get fooled with that type of scam.
Thankfully, Kyle thwarted the scammers before his grandparents lost nearly $10,000. But it's easy to see the scammers still victimize the Weavers.
And I'm thankful that it wasn't hurt.
I'm all right.
The BBB says the best thing you can do when you get a phone call about a loved one is to hang up and call other relatives to verify the story. Working for you in Beech Grove, I'm Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny.
Kara, thanks, and consider it a red flag if they ask you not to tell anyone or if they ask you to wire money or send cash. Another way to protect yourself is to make sure your friends lists on social media are set to private. This way a scammer can't learn about your family members and use that info to scam you.
The Department of Child Services is now investigating after a toddler somehow got out of a daycare. Many questions remain tonight as to how this could have happened. Only on RTV6, Stephanie Wade speaks exclusively with the family tonight, fearing what could have happened had a stranger not stepped in.
You can just hear how busy this street is. Cars are flying by at 40 miles per hour. It's a miracle this 2-year-old boy wasn't hurt when strangers say they saw him standing in the middle of the street alone.
Frantic, like, is my son dead? And he was like, no. I said, is he hurt?
It's a call from police. Timothy and Kenya Anderson will never forget.
This will always play in our mind, like every day, that getting that phone call and that frantic call that something happened to our son who we just dropped off and said that we love you.
Their 2-year-old son, TJ, somehow got out of tomorrow's child's daycare ministry Friday and was found walking in the middle of 82nd Street near Hague Road.
She said that she thought it was a car accident that had happened, and then like cars were stopping. And so that's when she realized that somebody had grabbed my son and was walking back from out of the street with him back onto the daycare. And that's when they realized that he was missing.
TJ's parents now livid, demanding answers from the daycare owner on how this could have happened.
He could have possibly been kidnapped.
Yeah, or he could have walked to like a pond or like a little ditch, or, you know, a dog could have been out, could have mauled him. I mean, it could have been 1,000 things.
The owner wouldn't answer any of my questions. The Department of Child Services is now investigating, as is the Family and Social Services Administration, which is the state child care licensing agency. But what the Andersons were shocked to find out, because tomorrow's child daycare ministry does not accept federal vouchers, it does not have to follow the same regulations as licensed facilities do. Registered ministries don't have regulated staff to child ratios or other supervision requirements, but simply are inspected for basic health and safety codes. Records we found show the state recently inspected them on July 11th, and they were cited for half a dozen different health and safety violations.
It's scary because it's like the same rules that apply for state should apply for ministry. To me, there shouldn't be no leeway for ministry because they're a ministry.
Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And to look up information on any child daycare facility, we will attach a link on this story on our website, theindychannel.com. RTV6 is following breaking news at this hour. Police are investigating after an infant was hit by a car. This happened just after 5 o'clock tonight. The child has been rushed to Riley Hospital. Police tell us a car pulled into a driveway and hit the baby. This happened on the 1700 block of Dawson Street. That's on the southeast side. Police tell us that the child is in critical condition. We do have a crew on scene. We will bring you more information as we get it here to our newsroom.
And now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. The stifling humidity has moved in and looks like it's going to stay a while. And that could also bring a chance for thunderstorms. But are they in the picture tonight? Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking that for us. Kevin.
Just a couple of isolated downpours, Amanda. I'll find those for you in a second. That combination of heat and humidity is making it uncomfortable. We did hit 90 today, but Indy down to 89. It's really about the feels like temperature because of the humidity. 94 is the heat index in Indy, 97 in Terre Haute. We have had a couple of downpours bubble up. I've circled these, one near Delphi, the other just to the southwest of Seymour. We'll go take a closer look. These move very slowly. You may get a quick downpour that brings 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain. Finally starting to make its move toward Delphi. We'll slide down to Jackson County, just southwest then of Seymour. Between Brownstown and Seymour, a fading area of rain there. A lot more sustained thunderstorm activity is expected tomorrow. For the kids at the bus stop in the morning, 72 degrees, just a 20% chance we'll see rain. Bigger impact in the afternoon may impact after-school activities with thunderstorms. Temperatures right around 90. Our headlines for tomorrow, I'd say in this 1 to 8 p.m. time frame, the most likely time for potentially severe storms with damaging wind threat. I'll take you more through that timing from west to east and let you know what it does to temperatures later in the week coming up.
New at 6, an Indianapolis man is under arrest accused of earning more than $1 million by shoplifting and selling the stolen merchandise. 35-year-old Ryan Walker is charged with nearly 20 felonies. Fishers police believe that since 2010, Walker has been selling stolen items on eBay and has had customers from all over the world pay him more than $1.1 million. And police suspect he shoplifted from several large retail businesses across Indiana, including Fishers. He's held in the Hamilton County Jail.
A state representative accused of driving while intoxicated and impersonating law enforcement now has a date with a judge. Indianapolis Representative Dan Forrestal is due to appear in court for his initial hearing on August 27th. Forrestal was arrested August 10th on the east side. He allegedly threatened to use his status to have police officers fired when he was arrested. Witnesses also say Forrestal claimed he was a police officer and that he was asking for drugs. Forrestal is a private with the Indianapolis Fire Department. He currently is suspended without pay. A Hendricks County School Board is defending its decision to keep a teacher and coach on staff accused of sexual misconduct with a student. The Northwest Hendricks School Corporation Board voted on July 29th to keep Tyler Bruce. Bruce is under criminal investigation for allegedly molesting a 17-year-old student. Bruce has not been charged. Parents have also asked the board to create policies and procedures to prevent adult staff members from being alone with students. In response to questions from Call 6 Investigates, the board issued a statement saying, quote, the board members voted based on the preponderance of the evidence delivered at the employees' requested conference with the school board, including administrators, witnesses, and legal representatives. If additional evidence is presented, the school board will act immediately upon the recommendation of our administration.
An industrial gas company wants about $2 million in tax relief from Indianapolis over the next 7 years. Messer LLC wants to build a new air separation unit at its current facility on the city's south side. If the relief is granted, the unit will allow Messer to manufacture gases for hospitals, food processors, and glass fabricators. Here's a closer look at what the company wants. The new facility will cost about $38 million, mostly in equipment costs. Messer says the tax relief will allow it to hire 23 new positions and retain 12, all at $28 an hour. The $2 million tax relief would be spread out over the next 7 years. The proposal will be discussed at Wednesday's Metropolitan Development Commission meeting. From there, will likely go to the City County Council.
People were disappointed last night that Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center had to cancel and postpone the Luke Bryan concert. It was canceled due to weather, but some concert goers say it was a mess trying to seek shelter from the storm. They wish they were given more time to find rides home or have a better plan in place to find safety.
They wanted us to walk to the Uber lot. There was lightning. A home had been struck by lightning in Carmel and was burning to the ground. No one wanted to be out in the lightning walking in that weather. And so the fact that there was no plan in place.
Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center management sent us this statement saying, in part, quote, all of our guests were able to leave the venue safely last evening. We appreciate everyone's patience and cooperation, including the guests, the band, and their crew, as well as the team that helps keep everyone safe, as that is always our first priority. We asked what emergency evacuation weather plan for Ruoff officials there, but they would not give us any more details. The concert is rescheduled for October 11th. Have you ever thought of becoming an FBI agent? It may not be out of as reach as you might think. How you can start exploring if this career could be for you.
And working to get answers about a driveway in need of repair. New information we received just today.
And did you see that wild wreck on the first lap of Sunday's IndyCar race? Just a year after Robert Wicken's horrific crash at the same track, winner Will Power weighs in and shares his thoughts.
And it's all about thunderstorm potential for tomorrow. We've got a few today. I'll find those for you. But over in Illinois, early tomorrow afternoon, the line of storms will move to the east into the Hoosier State. That's 3 o'clock. I'll finish the timeline and detail the threats coming up.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
RTV6 is getting answers to a story we first brought to you Friday night after a man asked for help with his driveway repairs. The water main in front of Andy Soul's home broke about a month ago. He says it damaged his driveway, the street, and the sidewalk. Citizens Energy Group agreed to repair part of his driveway, but he wanted the utility company to do more. Today, Citizens released a statement to RTV6 saying the driveway does need some repairs. But they say these pictures show the street and some of the driveway have been damaged for years, and the water main break only added a few additional cracks. Citizens is also questioning whether the sidewalk was damaged by the water main break because it showed signs of heaving. Now, we're still waiting to hear back from the Indianapolis Department of Public Works about the condition of the street.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's initiative connecting you to job opportunities and resources that you may have thought were once out of reach, and that includes a job with the FBI. The agency is looking for people from all backgrounds to help crack down on crime in central Indiana and across the country. Special Agent Jeremy Michaelis tells RTV6 that the FBI does not represent the United States as a whole, and that needs to change. Currently, minorities only make up 18% of the Bureau, and he says that's a major gap that needs to be fixed. Michaelis says this is crucial as they often need agents who can understand the community where they are operating.
It's just one type of person, they won't understand the people that we have to operate with to conduct our investigations. We can do nothing without public's help, without people telling us what's happening in the community, things that aren't going right, things like that. So if we don't understand them, we won't understand their experience, their perspectives, and we'll be that far behind in our investigations.
There are a few requirements if you're interested in becoming a special agent. You must have a college degree, and you must be 37 years old or younger. You must have work experience, and you cannot be a felon. The Bureau is hosting a Diversity Agent Recruitment, or DAR, event Thursday in Indianapolis from 5 to 7. To attend the event, you must apply, and then you will receive an invitation with more details. We put a link to the application on hiringhoosiers.com.
6:16, and as you look at TrueView radar, it's hard to find any thunderstorms. That won't be the case 24 hours from now. I think they'll be more widespread and fairly intense in spots. Let's zoom in on the one area that's had consistent rain over the last hour, kind of shifting from Lake Schaefer and Lake Freeman down toward Delphi and just drifting to the south and east, and by drifting, just not moving very quickly. The dew point, when we talk about this temperature, once it hits 65 or warmer, that's when you really start to notice it. Once we get them in the 70s, you step outside and you say it is humid. That's the case now, tomorrow, and on Wednesday. It's not until Thursday that we'll feel that big change. I think Friday, Saturday will be two great days where the humidity is low and the temperature very comfortable. We're still at 89. We hit 90 this afternoon. Temperatures this evening with these very isolated areas of rain. Temperatures will drop to 79 at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, we have an enhanced risk for severe storms. I bring this up typically, probably 75–80% of the time. Slight risk and marginal risk for central Indiana. A little rare that we have the enhanced risk, meaning it's more likely the storms will be a little more widespread and have more intensity than normal. That enhanced risk, all of central Illinois into central Indiana. Remember, there's no guarantee this will happen. We'll see how the pieces of the puzzle come together tomorrow, but shaping up that it might be damaging wind that is by far the biggest threat as we inherit storms from Illinois early afternoon through early evening. As far as large hail, that's still a threat too. Temperatures, though, by the end of the week will feel quite different than where we're at now. Upper 80s tomorrow and Wednesday, upper 70s on Friday, and that comes with a whole new air mass and drier air, humidity way down. 1 to 3, the arrival of storms potentially strong with damaging wind threat. 3 to 4, still pushing into central Indiana. It's probably not till 7 or 8 that we've moved these all the way toward the Buckeye State and start to eliminate severe weather threat. Tomorrow, it's just a race to 90 degrees. Can the temperatures warm up before the thunderstorms arrive? I think most of us will fall short of 90 for the high. On Wednesday, more thunderstorm potential ahead of the cold front. That cold front is what will send our temperatures back into the comfort zone as we get to Thursday and Friday. Friday, beautiful. 79 degrees, low humidity. We'll keep that momentum into a dry weekend. 79 and partly sunny Saturday. Temperatures Saturday morning, by the way, in the upper 50s. We turn it around a little bit, back to 83 on Sunday, but still with low humidity.
Are you saying we get to look forward to a really nice weekend?
You don't have to look that far away.
All right. Well, hey, Friday. We have Dave standing by with sports. Hey, Dave.
Could the roof be open Saturday night?
Maybe.
Oh, preseason football. We got 2 down, 2 to go. The team with a day off today, but making some roster moves. Running back Dante Foreman, remember him, placed on injured reserve with a reported torn bicep. Former Chiefs running back Charkandrick West signed in his place. Practice resumes for the guys after a couple days off. It resumes tomorrow. Hey, good evening. Another IndyCar race at Pocono now in the books and not without incident. Just a year after Robert Wickens' accident in turn 2. Another big one yesterday. In fact, the race couldn't even get to the 2-mile mark when this happens. 3 wide. Takuma Sato, Alexander Rossi, Ryan Hunter-Reay, all involved. You're riding on board with Rossi. Nowhere to go. Felix Rosenqvist also collected. He was taken to a nearby hospital as a precaution, but checked and released. Everyone's okay. Really came down to this. Will Power getting around Scott Dixon in the waning moments. He had to celebrate in the media center because that's when the rains hit. But like everyone, talking about the accident.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, man. I know the seams are bad down the back straight there. And you can get the wheel caught in one and it moves you. Like, it can move you almost a foot.
Wow.
So, you know, I don't know if that's what happened or I didn't know the guys were on the inside of him. But
yeah, Tough way to start.
I honestly couldn't believe that there was another crash in turn 2. I could not believe it when I heard yellow, yellow, yellow. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, please.
And tonight at 11, the latest on the track's position about IndyCar's future at Pocono. And meanwhile, look at the point standings. Tighten it up. The top 4. Scott Dixon now just 52 points back. Another oval this Saturday night when they race under the lights at Gateway. To hoop, Pacers center Miles Turner is one of just 13 finalists for the U.S. World Cup team and is one of just 2 centers that remain. Head coach Greg Popovich needs to cut that group down to one more mandatory 12-man roster. World Cup begins August 31st in China. Speaking of the Pacers, hope you join us tonight on the news at 11. Our Sports Extra Spotlight with Victor Oladipo back in town hosting his annual pro camp at Grand Park. More than 500 kids registered. Fundamentals, team drills, some 4-on-4. Actually, a couple kids got to go one-on-one with Oladipo. Right knee, he's looking pretty decent after that ruptured quad tendon now 7 months ago. He's also looking ahead to the upcoming season with our Brad Brown.
What do you like what the Pacers have done this offseason? Making a lot of moves. You got a whole different roster to work with.
I love it. I mean, we got a lot of great additions. I think we can have a special year. We just got to continue to keep getting better. Obviously, get the new guys acclimated and get used to one another. But, once we get the ball rolling and we start getting used to each other for real, I think the sky's the limit for us.
Yes, tonight at 11. Finally, first and foremost, Little League World Series. Last night, Pirates and Cubs, manager Joe Madden and Anthony Rizzo taking a shot at the famous outfield hill. And then Rizzo, 2-run blast off the scoreboard. And afterwards, well, that connection, second to another connection he also made with Little Leaguers.
I want to give it to the shortstop on Team Japan. I think he's going to be really good. I'm going to sign and give it to that shortstop on Team Japan. This is my ball, the home run ball I hit. I'm going to give it to Team Japan, because they gave me daps. So you need to translate for me.
Memorable moments at the Little League World Series. Victor Oladipo tonight at 11. The news at 6 continues after this.
Now at Ashley Home Store, this is home.
2 more very warm, humid days with thunderstorms likely at this time tomorrow. Some more Wednesday leading to that refreshing change.
Up next here is World News with David Muir.
And we'll be right back at 7. See you then.